The arrival. The sleek, silver shuttle pierced through the swirling clouds of Nexus Prime, its hull gleaming under the light of twin suns. Inside, Zara Chen gripped the edge of her seat, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. After years of preparation and a grueling selection process, she was finally here, the first human to attend the prestigious Galactic Academy of Sciences. As the shuttle descended towards the sprawling campus below, Zora caught glimpses of crystalline spires and bioluminescent gardens. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved about, their forms as diverse as the cosmos itself. Some floated on anti-gravity disks, others slithered on multiple appendages, and a few seemed to phase in and out of reality itself. Approaching Docking Bay 7, announced the AI pilot, its voice a soothing counterpoint to Zora's nervousness. "Please prepare for landing." Zara took a deep breath, running her hands through her short, dark hair. At 22, she was considered a prodigy in quantum mechanics on Earth. But here, among the most brilliant minds in the galaxy, she felt like a child taking her first steps. The shuttle touched down with barely a whisper, its doors hissing open to reveal a bustling reception area. Zara shouldered her pack, which contained everything she owned, and stepped out into her new life. "Welcome to Nexus Prime Terran," greeted a tall, willowy being with iridescent skin. "I am Lyra, your orientation guide. Please follow me." As they walked through the winding corridors of the academy, Zora's eyes darted everywhere, trying to take in the impossible architecture and advanced technology. Holographic displays flickered with equations that made her head spin, while in one room, she saw students manipulating actual mini black holes with casual ease. "Your living quarters are in the xenobiology wing," Lyra explained, leading Zara to a simple yet elegant room. "Your schedule has been uploaded to your neural implant. Classes begin tomorrow." Zara nodded, absently rubbing the small bump behind her ear where the implant had been inserted. It still felt foreign, a constant reminder of how far from home she truly was. As Lyra left, Zara unpacked her meager belongings, arranging them carefully in the strange, organic-looking furniture. She placed a small holoframe on the desk, and with a wave of her hand, an image of Earth appeared, blue and beautiful against the backdrop of space. A soft chime interrupted her moment of nostalgia. "All new students are required to attend the welcome ceremony in the Grand Atrium," announced a disembodied voice. Taking another deep breath to steady herself, Zara stepped out into the corridor. She followed the stream of alien students, marveling at their diversity. Some appeared almost human, while others defied description, their forms twisting in ways that seemed to ignore the laws of physics. The Grand Atrium was a massive open space that seemed to stretch endlessly upward. Thousands of students gathered, their excited chatter creating a symphony of clicks, whistles, and sounds Zora couldn't begin to classify. As she found a spot near the back, a hush fell over the crowd. A holographic image appeared in the center of the atrium, coalescing into the form of a being that seemed to be made of pure energy. "Greetings, young minds," the being spoke, its voice resonating not through the air, but directly in Zora's mind. "I am Archon Zix, headmaster of the Galactic Academy. You stand here today as the brightest hopes of your respective species. Here you will push the boundaries of science, unravel the mysteries of the universe, and forge bonds that will shape the future of our galactic community." Zara listened, enraptured, as Archon Zix outlined the Academy's history and expectations. Founded millennia ago by a coalition of advanced species, the Academy served as neutral ground for sharing knowledge and fostering interstellar cooperation. As the speech concluded, Zara felt a surge of determination. She was here to prove that humanity deserved its place among the stars, that they had something unique to offer to the galactic community. Her reverie was interrupted by a sharp jab to her side. Turning, she found herself face to face with a being that resembled a cross between a praying mantis and a supercomputer. Its multifaceted eyes regarded her with what she hoped was curiosity rather than hostility. "Fascinating," it clicked, mandibles twitching. A Terran. I thought your kind were still fumbling with basic particle physics. Zara felt a flash of indignation. We've made significant advancements in quantum entanglement and zero-point energy, she retorted, drawing on her knowledge to mask her insecurity. The insectoid alien's antennae twitched in what might have been amusement. Quaint, it chittered. I am Shiktal of the Hive Collective. Perhaps you'd care to discuss your advancements over nutrient consumption. Before Zara could respond, a new voice cut in. Leave the Terran alone, Shiktal. Not everyone can be born into a hive mind. Zara turned to see a humanoid figure approaching. He, for the voice sounded male, had metallic blue skin and eyes that glowed like distant stars. His movements were fluid, almost ethereal, as if he wasn't fully bound by gravity. Azrael of Celestia, he introduced himself with a slight bow. Don't mind, Exictal. The Hive Collective believes their shared consciousness makes them superior to individual thinkers. Shiktal's mandibles clacked in irritation. Our unified mind processes information at a rate your fragmented consciousness can't comprehend, it retorted before skittering away. Zara watched it go, a mix of emotions swirling within her. Thanks, she said to Azrael. I'm Zara Chen, Earth. Azrael's lips curved into a smile that seemed to light up his entire face. Earth, I've heard fascinating things about your world. Is it true that you still experience something called sleep? Zara couldn't help but laugh. Yes, we do. Don't Celestians sleep? Azrael shook his head, his starry eyes twinkling with genuine curiosity. We enter brief periods of meditation to organize our thoughts, but sleep as you know it became obsolete for us millennia ago. As they continued to chat, Zara felt some of her nervousness begin to fade. Azrael was eager to learn about Earth, and in turn, shared insights about life on Celestia and other worlds he had visited. Their conversation was interrupted by another chime. All students, please report to your assigned laboratories for preliminary assessments. The announcement echoed through the atrium. Azrael's expression turned serious. The assessments are crucial. They determine your placement and potential research opportunities. Don't let anyone rattle you, Zara. Show them what Terrans are capable of. With a grateful nod, Zara headed towards her assigned lab. As she walked, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. Glancing back, she caught sight of a group of aliens huddled together, their eyes, or what she assumed were eyes, fixed on her. One of them, a towering figure with crystalline skin that refracted light in mesmerizing patterns, stepped forward. Its voice was like grinding stone. So this is the human. Let's see if it's more than just another primitive bite. Zara squared her shoulders, meeting the alien's gaze. She had faced skepticism and prejudice on Earth. She wouldn't back down now. I look forward to the opportunity, she said, her voice steady. As she entered the lab, Zara's resolve hardened. She wasn't just here for herself. She carried the hopes and dreams of her entire species. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she would face them head-on. The lab doors closed behind her with a soft hiss, marking the beginning of her journey at the Galactic Academy. Little did Zara know that her actions in the coming days would not only change her life, but reshape the very fabric of interstellar relations. The challenge. The laboratory was a marvel of alien technology, filled with equipment Zara could scarcely comprehend. Holographic displays flickered with complex equations, while strange devices hummed with energies unknown to Earth science. Zara's fingers itched to explore, to unravel the mysteries that surrounded her. Stations, everyone, announced a stern voice. The speaker was a Volcarin, a species known for their logical minds and photographic memories. Its skin was a pale lavender, with tendrils that seemed to float around its head like a living crown. I am Professor Xylith. Your preliminary assessment begins now. Zara took her place at one of the workstations, acutely aware of the curious and often skeptical glances from her alien classmates. The crystalline being she had encountered earlier loomed nearby, its faceted body refracting light in distracting patterns. You will each be presented with a series of quantum-level anomalies. Professor Hyleth continued. Your task is to analyze and propose solutions. Begin. The holographic display before Zara sprang to life, presenting a scenario involving quantum entanglement across vast distances. It was a problem Earth scientists had grappled with for decades, but never fully solved. Zara's mind raced, drawing on everything she had learned and theorized. As she worked, she became aware of a commotion at a nearby station. The crystalline being, she now knew its name was Krislak, was arguing loudly with another student, a gelatinous creature that communicated through color changes in its translucent body. Your proposed solution is flawed, Krislak rumbled, its voice like grinding glass. It fails to account for temporal distortions in non-Euclidean space. The gelatinous being pulsed an angry red. And your approach ignores the fundamental principles of quantum superposition, it burbled back. Professor Kyleth glided over, tendrils twitching in irritation. Enough. This is an individual assessment. Return to your work. Zara tried to focus on her own problem, but she couldn't help overhearing snippets of conversation around her. Many of the alien students seemed to be struggling with aspects of quantum mechanics that she considered basic. A spark of hope ignited within her. Perhaps humanity's understanding of the quantum realm wasn't as primitive as the others believed. With renewed determination, Zara threw herself into her work. Her fingers flew across the holographic interface, inputting equations and running simulations. She drew on theories she had developed on Earth, adapting them to the advanced technology at her disposal. As the assessment neared its end, Zara felt a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration. She had pushed herself to her limits, exploring concepts that would have been purely theoretical on Earth. Whether her solutions were correct or not, she knew she had given it her all. Time. Professor Kyleth announced, "Step away from your stations. Results will be analyzed and posted shortly." As the students filed out of the lab, the air was thick with tension and speculation. Zara found herself walking alongside Azrael, the Celestian she had met earlier. "How did it go?" Azrael asked, his starry eyes flickering with genuine interest. Zara shrugged, trying to appear nonchalant. "I did my best. Some of the concepts were challenging." Azrael nodded sympathetically. "The first assessment is always tough. It's designed to push us to our limits." Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion ahead. A crowd had gathered around a large holographic display where the assessment results were being posted. Zara's heart raced as she pushed forward to see. The results were displayed as a ranking, with names and species listed alongside scores. Zara's eyes scanned the list, her breath catching as she spotted her name. She was in the top 10%. A mixture of relief and pride washed over her. She had proven herself, at least for now, but her elation was short-lived as she became aware of the murmurs around her. A Terran, in the top tier. Impossible. Their species barely understands basic warp theory. There must be a mistake. Krislak's crystalline form towered over the crowd, its faceted eyes fixed on Zara. "You," it rumbled, pointing a sharp crystal finger at her. "How did you achieve this?" Zara felt a surge of defiance. "The same way as anyone else," she replied, her voice steady. "By applying my knowledge and skills to the problems presented." Krislak's body vibrated, sending rainbow refractions across the hall. "Knowledge. What could a primitive species like yours possibly know about true quantum mechanics?" The crowd had gone silent, all eyes on the confrontation unfolding before them. Zara was acutely aware of the weight of the moment. Her response wouldn't just reflect on her, but on all of humanity. "Our understanding of quantum mechanics may be young compared to some," Zara said, her voice gaining strength, "but it's not primitive. We've made significant advancements in quantum entanglement and zero-point energy. Our theories on quantum tunneling have practical applications that—" "Theories," Krislak interrupted with a sound like shattering glass, apparently its species equivalent of laughter. You speak of theories while the rest of us deal in certainties. Anger flared within Zora. Every certainty began as a theory, she shot back. And some of our theories have led to breakthroughs that— Enough, Kreslak declared, raising a crystalline hand. Words are wind. If you truly believe your species is capable of standing amongst us, prove it. A hush fell over the crowd. Even those who had been skeptical of Zora seemed taken aback by the directness of the challenge. What do you propose? Zora asked, her mouth dry but her resolve firm. Kreslak's faceted eyes seemed to gleam with a predatory light. A direct competition. You and I, human. A test of quantum manipulation and theoretical application. Unless, of course, you're not up to the challenge. Zora's mind raced. This was more than just a personal challenge. It was a chance to prove humanity's worth on a galactic stage. But it was also incredibly risky. Kreslak's species had been studying quantum mechanics for millennia. What chance did she really have? She was about to respond when she felt a hand on her shoulder. It was Azrael, his star-filled eyes radiating concern. Zora, he said softly, you don't have to do this. Kreslak's species is known for their mastery of quantum physics. This challenge is exactly what I came here for, Zora finished, her voice low but firm. She turned back to Kreslak, squaring her shoulders. I accept your challenge. A ripple of excitement ran through the crowd. Kreslak's crystalline body vibrated in what might have been anticipation or amusement. Very well, human. Tomorrow, in the Grand Atrium, we'll see if your species is truly ready for the stars. As Kreslak turned and strode away, the crowd began to disperse, buzzing with speculation about the upcoming contest. The Grand Atrium hummed with anticipation as students from across the galaxy gathered to witness the showdown between Zora Chen, the upstart human, and Kreslak, the crystalline quantum prodigy. Holographic displays flickered to life, projecting the scene to every corner of the massive space. Zora stood at her designated platform, trying to calm her racing heart. She had spent the night poring over advanced quantum theories, pushing her implant to its limits as she absorbed as much information as she could. Now, facing the imposing form of Kreslak, she wondered if it had been enough. Contestants, step forward, announced Professor Tyleth, its tendrils swaying with an air of authority. This challenge will test not only your understanding of quantum mechanics, but your ability to apply that knowledge in practical, innovative ways. A shimmering field materialized between Zora and Kreslak. Within it, subatomic particles danced in complex patterns, a three-dimensional representation of a quantum system. Your task, Tyleth continued, is to manipulate this quantum field to achieve specific outcomes. Points will be awarded for speed, efficiency, and creativity. The challenge will consist of 3 rounds. Begin. Zora's fingers flew across her control panel, her mind racing as she analyzed the quantum field before her. The first task seemed straightforward. Entangle a specific set of particles across a defined distance. It was something she had theorized about on Earth, but never had the technology to attempt. Beside her, Kreslak's crystalline appendages moved with fluid grace, manipulating the field with practiced ease. Zora gritted her teeth, focusing on her own work. She couldn't afford to be distracted. As the first round progressed, Zora found herself falling into a rhythm. The advanced technology at her fingertips responded to her commands with a precision she had only dreamed of on Earth. She completed the task just moments after Kreslak, earning approving murmurs from the crowd. Round 1 complete, Tyleth announced. Kreslak leads, but the margin is surprisingly narrow. Zora allowed herself a small smile. She was holding her own for now. The second round proved more challenging. They were tasked with creating a stable quantum tunnel between 2 points in the field, a feat that pushed the boundaries of current galactic science. Kreslak moved with confidence, its crystalline body refracting light in complex patterns as it worked. Zora, however, hesitated. The traditional approaches she had learned seemed inadequate for this task. Then, a memory surfaced, A late-night discussion with her mentor on Earth about the theoretical possibilities of quantum tunneling. It was an unproven theory, dismissed by many as impossible. But here, with this advanced technology, Zara's fingers flew across the panel, implementing the wild theory. The quantum field before her shimmered and twisted in ways that drew gasps from the onlookers. For a heart-stopping moment, it seemed like the entire system would collapse. Then, suddenly, a stable tunnel snapped into existence. Zara had done it, using an approach entirely different from Krislak's more traditional method. Extraordinary, Sylith murmured, its tendrils twitching in excitement. Round 2 goes to the Terran, Zara Chen. The crowd erupted in a cacophony of alien sounds. Cheers, clicks, and vibrations that translated to astonishment and approval. Krislak's crystalline form seemed to dim slightly, perhaps the equivalent of a frown. As they moved into the final round, the atmosphere in the atrium was electric. Zara could feel the weight of expectation pressing down on her. She had proven herself capable, but could she actually win? The final challenge was announced: to create a quantum computer simulation capable of factoring a massive prime number. It was a task that combined raw computational power with an intuitive understanding of quantum principles. Zara and Krislak worked feverishly, their movements a blur as they constructed their simulations. The holographic displays above them showed their progress, complex quantum circuits taking shape in the air. As the minutes ticked by, Zara became aware of a problem. Her simulation was working, but it was slow, too slow. Krislak was pulling ahead, its natural affinity for quantum processes giving it a significant advantage. Desperation clawed at Zara's mind. She was so close, but it wasn't enough. Humanity would be seen as capable, but still inferior. Unless, in a moment of clarity, Zara saw the solution. It was risky, unconventional, and went against everything she had been taught. But it just might work. With seconds to spare, Zara implemented her wild idea. She bypassed traditional quantum gates, instead creating a nested series of quantum tunnels within her simulation. It was a technique that shouldn't have worked, that defied conventional quantum logic. The holographic display above her stuttered, then erupted in a dazzling display of quantum interactions. Numbers flowed like water, calculations happening at a speed that seemed impossible. A chime sounded, signaling the end of the challenge. The atrium fell silent as Professor Kylith examined the results. Impossible, Krislak rumbled, its crystalline form vibrating in disbelief. Gilith's tendrils waved in what might have been the Volcran equivalent of a smile. Not impossible, it seems. The winner, by a significant margin, is Zara Chen of Earth. The atrium exploded in a riot of sound and color. Aliens of all species surged forward, eager to congratulate the human who had defied all expectations. Zara stood, stunned, as the reality of her victory sank in. Azrael was at her side in an instant, his starry eyes shining with pride. You did it, Zara. You showed them all what humans are capable of. As the excitement swirled around her, Zara caught sight of Krislak. The crystalline being stood apart from the crowd, its faceted eyes fixed on her. Slowly, deliberately, it inclined its head in a gesture of respect. Zara returned the nod, a mixture of emotions washing over her. She had won, yes, but more importantly, she had opened the eyes of the galactic community to humanity's potential. As she was swept up in the celebrations, Zara couldn't help but wonder what this victory would mean for her, for Earth, and for the future of human-alien relations. Little did she know that her unconventional approach to quantum mechanics had set in motion events that would reshape the very fabric of galactic society. The challenge was over, but Zara's journey, and humanity's journey to the stars, was just beginning. Repercussions and revelations. In the days following her victory, Zara found herself at the center of a storm of attention. Students from across the galaxy sought her out, eager to discuss her unorthodox approach to quantum mechanics. Professors invited her to special seminars, probing the depths of her understanding. and the potential applications of her techniques. But not everyone was thrilled with the human's sudden rise to prominence. As Zara entered the quantum physics lab for her regular class, she felt the atmosphere shift. A group of students, led by a towering insectoid she recognized as HFY of the Hive Collective, fell silent at her approach. Interesting. HFY clicked, its mandibles twitching. The human arrives, expecting to be treated as an equal. Zara squared her shoulders, refusing to be intimidated. I'm here to learn, just like everyone else. Are you? Another student, a being composed of swirling gases, hissed. Or are you here to show off more of your species' hidden talents? Before Zara could respond, a familiar voice cut through the tension. I believe we're all here to expand our understanding of the universe, Azrael said, stepping to Zara's side. His starry eyes swept across the group, a subtle warning in their depths. Isn't that the purpose of the academy? The other students grumbled but dispersed, leaving Zara and Azrael alone. Thanks, Zara murmured, feeling a mix of gratitude and frustration. But I can fight my own battles. Azrael's lips curved in a gentle smile. I know you can, but you shouldn't have to. Not here. Your victory has unsettled many. They're questioning long-held beliefs about the hierarchy of species in the galaxy. Before Zara could respond, the lab doors hissed open, admitting Professor Xylith. The Volcrin's tendrils waved in excitement as it addressed the class. Today, Xylith announced, we will be exploring the implications of Ms. Chen's quantum tunneling technique. It seems our understanding of subspace mechanics may need revision. As the class delved into the intricacies of Zara's method, she felt a surge of pride. This was why she had come to the academy, not just to learn, but to contribute, to push the boundaries of galactic science. But even as she basked in the academic recognition, a part of her wondered about the broader implications. How would this advancement affect interstellar relations? What would it mean for Earth's standing in the galactic community? Her musings were interrupted by a gentle nudge from Azrael. Zara, he whispered, nodding towards the front of the class. Look. A holographic display had flickered to life, showing a familiar blue and green marble suspended in space. Earth. As you can see, Professor Xylith was saying, its tendrils waving in complex patterns. Ms. Chen's technique has potential applications in long-range communication and transportation. The implications for a world as isolated as Earth are significant. Zara's heart raced. The prospect of revolutionizing Earth's ability to connect with the wider galaxy was thrilling. But as she looked closer at the hologram, something seemed off. Professor, she called out, unable to contain herself. That can't be right. The continents, they're wrong. Xylith's tendrils stilled. Explain. Zara stood, moving closer to the display. The coastlines are different. Sea levels are much higher than they should be. And there's significantly less ice at the poles. A murmur ran through the class. Xylith's eyes narrowed, focusing on the image with new intensity. Fascinating, it murmured. This data is from our most recent survey of your solar system. Are you suggesting it's inaccurate? It has to be, Zara insisted. Earth doesn't look like this. Not yet, anyway. Azrael had joined her, his starry eyes flickering with concern. Zara, he said softly, when was the last time you had contact with Earth? The question hit her like a physical blow. In the excitement of her arrival and the subsequent challenges, she had almost forgotten that she hadn't received any communications from home. She had assumed it was due to the vast distances involved. But now, it's been weeks, she admitted, a cold feeling settling in her stomach. Professor Xylith's tendrils writhed in what might have been agitation. Ms. Chen, I believe we need to discuss this further. Class dismissed. Everyone except Ms. Chen. And, yes, you too, Azrael. Please remain. As the other students filed out, many casting curious glances back at Zara, Xylith manipulated the holographic controls. The image of Earth zoomed out, revealing its position in the solar system. "This," Gyleth said, its voice uncharacteristically gentle, "is the most current data we have on your home system. It was collected approximately 3 standard galactic months ago." Zara stared at the display, her mind refusing to process what she was seeing. "But that's impossible," she whispered. "I left Earth less than a month ago. There's no way the planet could have changed so dramatically in that time." Azrael placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Zara," he said softly, "is it possible that your journey here took longer than you thought?" The implications of his words crashed over her like a tidal wave. Time dilation. It was a known effect of certain types of faster-than-light travel, but surely not to this extent. "How? How long?" she managed to ask, her voice barely audible. Zilith's tendrils drooped in what might have been sympathy. "Based on the changes we're observing and the standard rate of geological and climatic shift for a planet like Earth, I estimate that approximately 500 of your years have passed since you left your home." The world seemed to spin around Zora. 500 years. Everyone she had known, everyone she had loved, gone. And Earth itself, changed almost beyond recognition. "This isn't unusual for students from emerging species," Gyleth continued, its voice seeming to come from very far away. "The technology used to bring you here is imprecise when it comes to temporal mechanics. We assumed you were aware of the potential time differential." Zara shook her head, unable to form words. She had known there would be sacrifices in coming to the academy, but this was beyond anything she had imagined. Azrael's grip on her shoulder tightened. "What does this mean for Zara?" he asked, his usually melodic voice tight with concern. "For Earth." Gyleth's tendrils waved in a complex pattern. "It means, young ones, that we have much to discuss. About the past, the present, and most importantly, the future. Because if Mize Chen's quantum tunneling technique is as revolutionary as it appears, it might just change everything, for Earth and for the entire galaxy." As the weight of the situation settled over her, Zara felt a strange mix of grief, shock, and determination. She had come to the academy to make a difference, to help humanity take its place among the stars. Now it seemed that mission had become more vital than she could have ever imagined. The Earth she had left behind was gone, but perhaps with what she had learned and what she could yet discover, she could help shape the Earth of the future and humanity's place in the cosmos. With a deep breath, Zara steadied herself. "All right," she said, her voice growing stronger with each word. "Tell me everything. And then, let's figure out how we can use this quantum tunneling technique to make sure Earth isn't left behind again." As Stylith began to explain the complex temporal mechanics at play, Zara's mind raced with possibilities. The challenge she had faced in the atrium suddenly seemed trivial compared to what lay ahead, but she was ready to face the unknown, to push the boundaries of science, and to fight for humanity's future among the stars. Little did she know that her determination would soon be put to the test in ways she could never have imagined, as forces beyond her understanding began to take notice of the young human who had unwittingly stumbled into the center of a galactic storm. Unity in adversity. The following weeks were a blur of activity for Zora. The revelation about Earth's temporal displacement had sent shockwaves through the academy. Suddenly, her breakthrough in quantum tunneling wasn't just an academic curiosity. It was a potential lifeline for her home planet. Zara threw herself into her work with renewed vigor, spending long hours in the lab refining her technique. Azrael was a constant presence at her side, his quiet support and brilliant insights proving invaluable. "If we can stabilize the quantum tunnel over interstellar distances," Zora mused, her fingers flying over the holographic interface, "we might be able to establish real-time communication with Earth, maybe even matter transportation." Azrael nodded, his starry eyes flickering with excitement. "And if we can do that, we can share advanced technology with your people, help them catch up to the rest of the galaxy." Their work didn't go unnoticed. Other students, initially skeptical of the human in their midst, began to take an interest. HFY, the insectoid from the Hive Collective, approached Zora one day in the lab. "Your theory on quantum entanglement across nonlinear space-time." It clicked, mandibles twitching nervously. "It's intriguing. Perhaps we could collaborate." Slowly but surely, a team began to form around Zora. Students from diverse species, each bringing their unique perspectives and knowledge, united in the goal of bridging the gap between Earth and the galactic community. But as their project gained momentum, it also attracted unwanted attention. It was Krislak who first noticed something was amiss. The crystalline being's faceted eyes narrowed as it examined the data streaming across their screens. "These fluctuations," it rumbled, pointing with a crystalline appendage. "They're not random. Someone is probing our work." Zara felt a chill run down her spine. "Probing? You mean someone's trying to hack our research?" Before Krislak could respond, alarms blared throughout the academy. The holographic displays flickered, then went dark. When they came back online, a message scrolled across every screen. "Attention, all species. The human QUANTUM2NEling technology poses a threat to galactic stability. Cease all research and media TLI or FACDIRE so CQUENCs." The lab erupted into chaos. Students panicked, some fleeing, others arguing loudly. Zara stood frozen, staring at the ominous message. "Who would do this?" she whispered. "I believe I can answer that," came a familiar voice. Professor Kylith glided into the lab, its tendrils writhing with agitation. "We've identified the source of the threat. It's the Concordat." A hush fell over the room. Even Zara, new as she was to galactic politics, had heard whispers of the Concordat, a shadowy organization dedicated to maintaining the status quo in the galaxy by any means necessary. "But why?" Azrael asked, his usually melodic voice tight with tension. "How does Zora's research threaten them?" Hagilith's tendrils drooped. "The Concordat believes in controlled progression of species. Earth's sudden leap forward, thanks to Zora's work, disrupts their carefully managed balance of power." Zara felt a surge of anger. "So they'd keep my entire planet isolated and technologically stunted, just to maintain their control." "Precisely," Kylith confirmed. "And they're not just making threats. We've detected a Concordat fleet entering the system. They're here to destroy the Academy if we don't comply." The news hit like a physical blow. Zara looked around at her team. Aliens from across the galaxy, united in the pursuit of knowledge and progress. She couldn't let their work be destroyed, couldn't let Earth remain cut off from the galactic community. "What can we do?" she asked, her voice steadier than she felt. Kylith's tendrils twisted in a complex pattern. "We fight back. Not with weapons, but with science. Your quantum tunneling technique, Zara. If we can adapt it, expand it, we could create a defensive shield around the Academy." Krislak finished, its crystalline body vibrating with excitement. "Not just a shield." HFY clicked, its compound eyes gleaming. "A network. We could link every mind in the Academy, share our knowledge and skills instantaneously." Ideas flew fast and furious. Azrael suggested using the quantum network to confuse the Concordat's targeting systems. A gaseous being proposed a way to extend the shield to cover the entire planet. As the plan took shape, Zara felt a swell of pride and determination. This was humanity's strength, not just individual brilliance, but the ability to inspire cooperation, to unite diverse minds toward a common goal. The next hours were a frenzy of activity. The entire Academy mobilized, with students and professors alike contributing to the massive undertaking. Zara's team worked tirelessly, refining the quantum tunneling technique and expanding its applications in ways she had never imagined. As the Concordat fleet entered orbit, tension reached a fever pitch. Zara stood at the control center, surrounded by her alien friends and colleagues. With a deep breath, she initiated the quantum network. The effect was immediate and awe-inspiring. A shimmering field of energy enveloped the Academy, then expanded to encompass the entire planet. Within the shield, minds connected across species barriers, sharing knowledge and coordinating their efforts with incredible efficiency. The Concordat ships opened fire, their advanced weapons slamming against the quantum shield. But for every attack, the unified minds within the Academy had a countermeasure. Concordat targeting systems went haywire. Their communication networks were flooded with nonsensical data. And through it all, Zara and her team pushed their research further. As the battle raged above, they refined their quantum tunneling technique, extending its reach across vast distances of space. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, a new signal cut through the chaos. It was originating from Earth. With trembling hands, Zara opened the communication channel. A face appeared on the screen, a human face, aged and wise, wearing an expression of wonder. "This is Earth's Central Command," the woman said, her voice filled with emotion. "We've been searching the stars for centuries, hoping to reconnect with our lost daughter. Zara Chen, you've done it. You've brought humanity back to the galactic stage." Tears streamed down Zora's face as the implications hit her. Not only had they defeated the Concordat, but they had also succeeded in re-establishing contact with Earth. Her home, changed as it might be, was no longer isolated. As the Concordat fleet retreated, defeated by the power of united scientific minds, celebrations erupted throughout the Academy. Species that had once viewed each other with suspicion now embraced, bound by their shared triumph. Zara found herself at the center of it all, hailed not just as a brilliant scientist, but as a symbol of what could be achieved through cooperation and determination. In the days that followed, as the Academy began the process of sharing its vast knowledge with Earth, Zora reflected on her journey. She had come to the stars to prove humanity's worth, to show that her species deserved a place in the galactic community. What she had found was something far greater: the power of unity in diversity, the strength that comes from bringing together minds from across the cosmos. Earth would join the galactic stage, not as a latecomer struggling to catch up, but as a vital part of a new, more cooperative galactic society. As she looked out at the star-filled sky, Zara Chen, the human who had changed the course of galactic history, felt a sense of boundless possibility. The quantum tunnels she had discovered were more than just pathways through space. They were bridges between worlds, between species, between hearts and minds. The future stretched out before her, full of challenges and wonders yet to be discovered. And thanks to the unity forged in adversity, humanity, and indeed, all species, would face that future together.